Alright, so I got another request to make a bootstrapping video, and what bootstrapping essentially is basically just catching up with the blockchain. So blockchain has multiple blocks, and I believe the Smartcash one is, as of making this recording right now, it's currently at 349,317 blocks on Smartcash. So those blocks contain all the previous transactions on the network. So bootstrapping is basically downloading the entire blockchain in one go instead of trying to get each block from the network on your wallet. And it's just much faster because you can easily get that much quicker. So I'll do it on Mac, Windows, and Linux in this video, and then you can easily find which operating system you're using and doing that. So first of all, I actually need to get the Smartcash wallet because I don't have it on this virtual machine. So I'm going to go to smartcash.cc. And I'm going to click Wallets, and I'm going to click Mac. I'm going to let it download. And I've seen this with a couple of times. So the way that what a DMG here is under, you can see when it downloads. The DMG file is a compressed file. It's like a zip file for Mac, basically, and it contains an image. And inside that disk image is usually the application that you want to download. Now, I've seen a lot of people and friends and family that use applications from inside the disk image, and that's not the correct way to use an application. It'll work, but that's not the correct way you're supposed to do it. So the correct way you're supposed to do it is, if it opens up, it'll usually either have an installer, but this one doesn't. Usually on Mac, they don't have installers. It's just a quick drag and drop into the applications folder. It copies it to the applications folder, and you just heard that click. That means it's in the applications folder. Now, I would press on the keyboard Command E to eject, or I could just drag this to the trash can, and you can see the trash can turns into an eject arrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click here and then press Command E. You'll see it disappears from the desktop, and that's how you kind of use DMG files. So we're going to open the applications folder, and we're going to open the Smartcash wallet. Oh, and it's going to basically make me approve it in the security settings, and then I'll go here and say open anyway, and I want to open it. That's fine. Now it's going to ask me where do you want to save the blockchain, and if you have enough space on your current hard drive, that's fine. You just say the default place, and I'll show you where that is. And it's actually here in this box, even though we're not using a custom directory, it defaults to the normal one. But if, let's say, you don't have much space on your Mac or your PC, you would change it to an external hard drive or whatever. But we're just going to use the default data directory, and we'll say OK. And now you'll see it open, and we don't even have, at first, a split second, it said no block source available. That means it couldn't find anyone. But as you can see, if you hover your mouse over here and don't move it, it'll show you the current block it's on. And then if you just move it slowly, it'll show you, like, back and forth. You can see what kind of block it is. So as I said, I had it's currently around 349,000, I believe. Yeah, 349,317, and that's probably changed since I did that because there's a block about every 55 seconds. So this is going to take a long time if I just leave it open here. It's currently on blocks 33 weeks ago, as you can see on the yellow little post-it note kind of. So this is going to take a long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to quit the wallet. On the smartcash.com, smartcash.cc website, when I clicked wallets, if you scroll down, you'll see this Bootstrap. So you click on that, and it's going to be downloading. It's about a 300 something megabyte file, or no, now it's 400 megabytes. That's fine. So we'll let it download, and I'll come back once it's finished downloading. Okay, so I'm back, and I just wanted to make sure that you understand if you're going to be running a smart node, then you would download this one, and you have to do a setting in the configuration, which we'll do now. But if you're not going to be running a smart node and you just want to basically, that was my Telegram going off. If you just want to have a Smartcash wallet and you don't want to wait for it to sync because you want to send some Smartcash or whatever, or you're even if you have already opened your wallet, but you know your computer's been off for like 3 weeks and you just want to catch up and you don't want it to take forever, then you could also use this method. So I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to paste the address, and I'll put this down in the description. This is the how to use the Bootstrap thingy webpage. So again, this is the file that we downloaded, and that's the one for if you're going to run a smart node. I mean, you don't even have to run a smart node with it, but you'd have to put the tx index equals 1 in the configuration. So I'll show you how to do that. If you are not going to be doing that, there's another Bootstrap, which is this one, just the bootstrap.zip. So I'm going to be using the tx index strap usually for people that want to do smart nodes, and even if you're not, it's pretty easy to put that configuration in, so I'll show you that as well. But this is just for your information. And sometimes if you don't put that in, actually no, always, if you don't put the tx index equals 1 and you download the tx index strap, it's going to re-index all the files, so it'll literally take longer than actually just downloading it from scratch. So we've opened the Smartcash wallet, we've let it start syncing, but now we close it and we're gonna bootstrap it. So the file has finished downloading and it's right here. So what we're gonna do is click on Finder, and then we're gonna click on Go, and then we're gonna go to Folder. Now we're gonna type in tilde and then / application, and you can type in once you've typed in most of the word, you can press in, oh sorry, actually it's not application, it's library. And once you've started typing the word, if you want to auto complete it, you can just press tab. So library application, and I'm gonna put most of support because there's a couple of folders that are just like application support. There's one called application something, so you have to type in the entire word because it doesn't know which folder you're looking for. And then we're just going to / and then Smartcash. And if I typed it incorrectly and when I press enter, it'll allow us to go there. So perfect, it worked. So this is dependent on the user that's using it. So right now I'm on this username. If you had multiple users on your Mac, and you have a family of 5 and each one has their username, just be cognizant to do it on the user that you're going to use the wallet with from start to finish. That way you don't get mixed up and then you open it and you think your money has disappeared or something. So because we opened the wallet, the blocks and change state folder are already there. We're going to delete those, and we're going to replace them with the ones from the download. So right here, we're just going to highlight them and we're going to drag them over there. And that's it. We've basically just done the bootstrap. Now, what we want to do is we want to make that configuration file. So what we're going to do is open text edit by pressing Command space and just typing text edit. That's a shortcut in Mac. Now that we've opened text edit, we're going to go to preferences and just make sure that this is on plain text and not rich text. And if you've already started typing in your text editor, it won't save as plain text. You'll have to close it, close the document and make a new one, and then it'll open in plain text. So you want to put in tx index equals 1, and we're going to go File and Save, and we want to save it in this folder. But since this folder is kind of hidden, I can just put it onto the desktop, and then I'll drag it in just to make things easier. So we want to call it smartcash.conf, and we're going to click Save. So that smartcash.conf file is there. And we're going to close it. Now, when we open the wallet, it should be okay, unless I made a mistake. So, I decided to save the smartcash.conf with the text. Just make sure that we remove the .txt, and we're gonna just click Get Info just to make it extra. Name and extension. Okay, perfect. So now I believe it should work. Awesome. So now you can see that it's loading the wallet, and it's counting up the blocks. Now this is going to take about an hour, maybe an hour, half an hour, depending on how fast your Mac is. If it's a newer one with a faster processor and a solid state drive, then it would not take that much time. But if it's an older one, you're going to be probably waiting for about an hour. But it's pretty fast. As you can see, we're almost at 10,000 blocks of 300,000. And so that's pretty much the basics of bootstrapping. Now, I said that we were at the current block was around 349,000. The Bootstrap will get you up to currently, since at the time that I downloaded it, 347,000. So it's about 2,000 blocks behind. So that would take probably another like 5 or 10 minutes to actually download from the internet. But rather than take hours and hours, we downloaded it in one file, extracted it, placed it there, and then we made this smartcash.conf file. And I can link to that file, so that way you won't have the same issue that I just had of it saving it as a txt file and the computer not recognizing it. It's just text edit is kind of annoying on the Mac. So I'll leave this running now, and that's the end of the bootstrapping. Now we'll switch over to Windows, and you'll see how you bootstrap on Windows. Okay, so we're on the Windows operating system now, and I've just installed the Smartcash wallet, and I left this part to show you again. The first time you open it, it's going to ask you, do you want to use the default directory, or do you want to use a custom directory in case you don't have any hard drive space? So the default directory, even though it's showing in this field here, that is the default one. So it'll be your C drive or wherever your Windows installed, but for 99% of people, that's their C drive. Then the user folder, your username, app data, roaming, and then Smartcash. So we're going to say OK. And the Smartcash wallet is going to open. It's gonna we're gonna let it allow. Sorry, I just jumbled my words a lot. The Windows security alert for the firewall is gonna pop up. We're gonna say allow it on both public and private. And as you can see here, again, it's saying it's 33 weeks behind, and that would take forever. So now that it's started, we're gonna close it. And here's the zip file for the tx index. I'm going to use WinRAR. Now I'm going to go to the folder that we're specified, but you might not see it. So we went to C, as we said, then users, then Cush, but app data is not here. and that's because it's a hidden file, and what you want to do is just show hidden files. So how we did that was we clicked on view, we came over here and we clicked on hidden items. You can also do it by clicking on the options and then clicking view and then show hidden files and folders. And there might be another one. It's hide protected operating system files. And also, just a general tip, if you're on Windows, you might want to remove this one of hide extensions for known file types, and that's a very easy way to detect viruses that sometimes are posing as a picture. So they'll say dot whatever PDF or dot JPEG, and there's really a .exe, which is an executable file after that PDF. I don't know why Microsoft doesn't have this unticked by default, but that's a different story. But so now we go to the app data folder now that it's showing, and then we're going to go to roaming and then the Smartcash folder. So here we're going to click on the blocks and the change state, and we're going to delete them. And then depending on how you're extracting your files, if you have WinZip or 7-zip or just the default Windows extraction, but what we're going to do is just basically extract them there. So now that they're there, and you obviously want to make sure that you're doing this while the wallet's closed. So now that we've done the Bootstrap, we're going to do that and reopen it. Oh, and I forgot. I didn't do the TX index 1, so it's going to complain right now. I'm going to click abort, and then I will open Notepad++, or you can do Notepad. And we're just going to do TX index equals 1. Now, for the smartcash.conf file, you're probably going to have more than just this, but that's for another tutorial. This is just to get the wallet up and bootstrapped. You can follow other tutorials or look at my other videos if you want to know all the settings that you should have in there. I actually don't have them off the top of my head, so I'm not even going to attempt to do that in this video. This is just a bootstrapping video. So we're going to go see users, our username, app data, roaming, and then Smartcash, and we're going to call this smartcash.conf, depending on what it does. Oh, and since I did put the .conf file, it did allow me. So yeah, it's just a technical thing where it's not actually showing that I was going to save as a conf file, but it actually did. So great. Now we can close that, and now we're going to close that, and then we're going to go here again, open the Smartcash wallet, and then it should start counting up. And there we go again. It's counting up, and this again will take about maybe half an hour to an hour depending on the speed of your computer. And then, like I said, it's only the Bootstrap is currently getting up to 347,000, and it's gonna have to download those 2 other 1,000 afterwards.